What's going on, baby? It's Slick Cactus, and today we are going to be discussing 10 weapon rolls in Destiny 2 that are going from trash to treasure in Season 14. And that's because Bungie just unveiled a bunch of weapon perks that were getting buffed next season. So there's a lot of great weapons that have rolls with these currently underpowered perks. If you were to get them right now, you'd probably consider it a trash roll. You'd probably insta-delete these rolls. But next season, they could be going up to the S tier. And so, let's get started. But first things first, guys, this is the last day of the Advanced GG sale. If you use code KHD25, you're going to get 25% off, the best and only clinically proven gaming supplement out there. So many fantastic flavors to try, including Cactus Kiwi Lime. It's a tropical vacation in your mouth. It's going to give you that focus, that energy you need to farm the absolute crap out of Destiny 2 when the new season launches. So check it out, everything is linked in the description down below. Alright, now let's go over the first perk we're focusing on. We're not going to be discussing every single perk that got buffed because some of the buffs were pretty darn minor. The first one that got a significant buff was Subsistence. Right now, that perk says kills partially reload the magazine from reserves, but reserve capacity is reduced. If we look at the buff here, it now says no longer reduces reserve ammunition, and submachine guns specifically now receive the same amount of ammo back on a kill as auto rifles, which is 17% of their ammo back, and previously it was 10%. So, where you're seeing it in my example is this Gnawing Hunger with Subsistence plus Rampage. This, right now, without this buff, is already a phenomenal roll. I actually did a video when it came out back with Season of the Arrivals, and this thing just slaps ads, and you're going to be seeing it putting work in the background gameplay. But there's a lot of weapons that benefit greatly from this increase. Mainly, it is going to be submachine guns as well as hand cannons. Because that reduction to your reserve ammo, submachine guns and hand cannons didn't have a lot of reserve ammo. And so while this perk was always, I think, pretty decent, you would run out of ammo and then you were in big trouble. So the first roll that's getting a lot better is actually the IKELOS SMG. Right now, the god roll involves Threat Detector, and to be honest, I never really like Threat Detector. It's an okay perk at best, increasing your reload speed when enemies are in close proximity. But instead of that, you can get Subsistence. And now with no downsides whatsoever, basically just giving you ammo back on kills, I think Subsistence plus either Demolitionist or Surrounded for the IKELOS just became another god roll. The IKELOS and its ability to produce Warmind cells, this is already a top tier S++ tier weapon, and now you have a new tool in your arsenal. You have another god roll available. This is something to watch out for. Moving on, another weapon getting a huge boost is the Extraordinary Rendition. This submachine gun was introduced this season, and as you can see, it can actually get Subsistence as well in that first slot. And you can combine Subsistence with some great perks in the second slot. Frenzy, which is going to increase your damage and reload speed as long as you're in combat. Another great one is going to be One for All. Hitting 3 separate targets increases your damage for a pretty significant duration. And, you know, the classics like Rampage are here as well. Before this buff, I would have said that Overflow was the best perk to get in that first slot for PvE. But now, I think Subsistence is right up there because the ability to get ammo back is going to almost always double your magazine size, and it is really going to be a powerful new option. Moving on from there, however, another roll getting a lot better is actually the Igneous Hammer. So this is like S+++ tier for PvP right now, and if we look at the perks, there's a lot of great rolls, but it can get Subsistence in that first slot. And usually you're going for Rampage in the second slot. So it turns out, however, that with Rampage, the Igneous becomes a 2-shot kill in PvP, which is part of the reason why it's so powerful. But With Subsistence, as long as you have 10 rounds in the magazine, so if you put a backup mag mod on, or you get, an extended mag perk, something like that, you'll get 2 rounds back after every kill. So that does mean with Rampage active, you can go infinite, essentially, with the Igneous Hammer in PvP. And now you're telling me I don't get any sort of reduction to my reserve ammo, so that roll is also going to be significantly better in PvE. In fact, in PvE, if you get Subsistence plus 1 for all, that's another great roll. This is definitely something to look out for. But moving on from there, another perk getting a lot better is actually Unrelenting. Right now it says rapidly defeating targets triggers health regeneration. Guardians and powerful combatants count as more than 1 kill. And according to the buffs, now it's easier to trigger in PvE. It immediately activates if you kill a major, and it heals you for 20% more every time it does activate. So that's pretty significant. And where you see it here, firstly on this Palindrome, that is a great example of a roll that's going to get a lot better. I have firstly Overflow, and then I combine that with Outlaw, and that is pretty darn powerful. Overflow is a great perk in and of itself. I'm not losing too much power by switching over to Unrelenting, and it's great if I want a weapon that's going to get me out of sticky situations. By the way, the Palindrome can also get Subsistence, so keep an eye out for that as well. But some more weapons getting better with Unrelenting include something like the Shadow Price. This can get Unrelenting in that second slot, so you can get Overflow plus Unrelenting on that as well. And with this auto rifle, it can get upwards of like 90 rounds in a magazine, especially if you get the Adept version and use Adept backup mag. So that is a lot of firepower to kill ads and trigger Unrelenting probably multiple times to save your life. But moving on from there, I think those 2 weapons are some examples of what a lot of people are going to think of. Those are just primary weapons. If we focus on the part of the buff where killing a major just instantly triggers this perk, I think you really want something like the Heritage. So interestingly, if we look here, it can get Unrelenting in that second perk, and the Heritage, the most important perks you're looking for is going to be Assault Mag combined with Reconstruction. That is like the power combo of this shotgun, and with that combo, it's unbelievably good. Now, in that second slot, you're often looking for something like Recombination to increase the damage, maybe Thresh for a consistent increase to your super, but Unrelenting just became a pretty viable option. It is really easy to kill a yellow bar with the dang Heritage, right? So doing that and instantly getting your health back, that's actually going to be pretty good. Moving on from there, another great example is the Swarm, and this is the first time we're seeing Unrelenting in that first perk slot actually. So this can get Unrelenting combined with something like Vorpal Weapon or One for All, so you're still getting that damage boost to this weapon while also getting the benefits of being able to heal, and kind of like the Heritage, pretty easy to get kills even on majors with a heavy machine gun. That's another one to consider as well. But moving on from there, the last perk getting a really substantial buff is No Distractions. Right now it says aiming this weapon for a short period reduces flinch. Then if we look at the buff, it's reduced trigger time from 1.5 seconds to 1 second and increased flinch reduction from 30% to 35%. Mainly that change where you have to aim down sights for now only 1 second, where previously it was 1.5 seconds, that half a second can make all the difference in a PvP engagement. And that is going to make the value of this perk skyrocket, especially for sniper rifles, which are flinching pretty heavily right now when you're being shot. And the first roll getting a lot better is what you're seeing in my example with the Omniscient Eye. This is actually from the Garden of Salvation raid, so it's a much older activity, but because it's a raid, this is not sunset, this is still infusible, and it can get no distractions plus snapshot sights. And especially with the upcoming nerf to quick draw, a lot of sniper rolls, people were looking for quick draw, but taking off the plus 100 handling of quick draw is going to make snapshot sights go up in value. So this is an example of a roll that's getting a lot better in Season 14. Another example is actually going to be the Frozen Orbit. This is the brand new Crucible specific sniper rifle, and if you look at the perks, a lot of perks here, but it can also get no distractions plus either snapshot sights or quick draw. So that is some fantastically powerful combinations. I think right now people were looking for stuff like maybe moving target, maybe even firmly planted, like outlaw, like it wasn't that amazing options in that first category. So no distractions going up in value, reducing flinch, like that is actually going to be a pretty powerful combo there. And then the last weapon we're looking at in this video is actually the Secession sniper rifle from the Deepstone Crypt. That, as you can see, can also get no distractions in that first column combined with snapshot sights. And because it has so much less perks, the perk pool is so much smaller than the Frozen Orbit, it's much more practical to get that no distraction snapshot roll on the Secession. But if you don't want that, heck, you could go with no distractions plus Thresh for more super energy, or even Vorpal Weapon for more damage against supers. So guys, those are 10 weapon rolls that are getting significantly better due to perk buffs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.